To all cheerleaders, cheerleading is considered a sport. However, non-cheerleaders believe that cheerleading is not a sport at all. These people that say that cheerleading is not a sport need to go to one cheerleading practice just so they can see how difficult it is. Cheerleading also requires a lot of physical endurance and mental ability. Thus, due to the competitive aspect of cheerleading, as well as the physical requirements it takes, cheerleading should be considered a sport. Certain laws, such as Title VI, do not classify cheerleading as a sport because at the time the law was created, cheerleading did not involve direct athletic competition. Throughout the years, cheerleading has changed tremendously. For now, cheerleading For now, cheerleading has athletic competitions where teams come together to showcase their skills. In 1948, Lawrence Herkimer oversaw the creation of the National Cheerleading Association, otherwise known as NCA. Today, cheerleading competitions are aired on ESPN, your local sports channel, such as Worlds, The Summit, NCAs, and Collegiate. Football, baseball, tennis, golf, soccer, etc. are all aired on ESPN and are all classified as sports. So if cheerleading is aired on this channel as well, then why is cheerleading not considered a sport? In August of 2003, the University of Maryland became the first Division I-A school to classify competitive cheerleading as an official varsity sport and count it towards the Title VI requirements. Since then, 22 states have recognized high school and competitive cheerleading as an official varsity sport. Over 20 years, the U.S. Department of Education's Office of Civil Rights has warned schools not to include cheerleading as an athletic program to balance the books on Title VI. Cheerleading teams that compete in head-to-head competitions are ones that count for Title VI. Georgia Tech senior King Harrison said, "It's kind of like running an all-out sprint for 2.5 minutes. The only difference is you have to hold two 50-pound weights above your head." Officially classifying cheerleading as an official collegiate sport would generate more money, better coaches, cheerleading trainers, etc. As of right now, the NCA, National Cheerleading Association, and the Universal Cheerleading Association govern cheerleading. The National Cheerleading Association and the UCA both have their own training camps, clinics, and competitions and profit largely from the sale of uniforms, equipment, workout clothes, etc. Statistics from the University of North Carolina's National Center for Catastrophic Sports Injuries. Research states that each year more females are injured severely in cheerleading than athletes in any other sport. Ashley Snedden, a member of the 2004 cheerleading team from Lewis University, said, "I've broken my nose, had stitches in my mouth before. Cheerleading is just as physical as any other sport." So what can you say to prove these people wrong and get respect in return? You tell them that there is no solid definition of official sport. The Women's Sports Foundation has broken the field down of what qualities make a sport. These qualities are: 1. Must be physical activity in which a mass defies gravity. 2. Has to have contesting or competition against or with an opponent is required. 3. It must be governed by rules that have a defined time, space, and purpose under which the contest and in which a winner is declared. 4. Acknowledgement that the sole purpose of the competition is in comparison to the relative skills of the participants. Number 5. The physical activity includes all excuse me. The physical activity includes all the defined elements. And last, number 6, the primary purpose is competition versus other teams or individuals within a competition structure comparable to other athletic activities. Of these 6 qualities that the Women's Sports Foundation states, cheerleading meets at least 4. Cheerleading today requires skills from many other sports. Cheerleading uses the strength of a football player, the grace of a dancer, and the agility of a gymnast. You need the strength of a football player to be able to lift the girls in partner stunts, which is not as easy as it sounds. The grace of a dancer is needed to make moving from place to place look clean and crisp and not all over the place like a sloppy mess. Grace is also needed for when it's time to do the dance. The agility of gymnasts is needed for when you have a tumbling pass. Ask anyone who tumbles and they will tell you that if you are not careful, you will fall flat on your face. The skills that all cheerleaders use leave no doubt that cheerleaders are exceptional athletes. Most people do not distinguish the difference between high school cheerleading and all-star cheerleading. High school cheerleading is more cheering on the sidelines to get the crowd rowdy and hype, as to where all-star cheerleading is more competitive based. In all-star cheerleading, you go to competitions to compete against teams from all over to showcase your skills and what you've learned and how far you've come. Going back to high school cheerleading, some high schools do go to competitions, but their sole purpose is to cheer on the sidelines. Now, some say that cheerleading should not be classified as a sport because upon doing this, it would make restrictions where cheerleaders couldn't compete against one another. As of 2006, the debate on whether or not to classify cheerleading as an official sport is still persisting. One day in the near future, cheerleading will be considered an official sport, so why not go ahead and make it one?